Hello everyone, good morning. It is this day on a Monday, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a national and state holiday for us. It is the day that commemorates when the federal troops rolled into Galveston, freed some of the last of the enslaved people here in the United States. And so that's a day of commemoration when we are one of our newest holidays here in the United States as well. Okay, on our show today, let's figure this out. We're going to go see Dr. T. He's going to be joining us from Harvard Eye Associates, and then we're going to talk to the old pros, Carol, Glenn, and David During. Yes, very much. And let's stay informed now. Hey, what do we got for stay informed? Well, we want to let you guys know that their United Woods Mutual has some openings on their board of directors. They have someone who stepped out, so they are looking for someone to submit some candidate applications. Come on down there and be a board member. If you do that, you're going to be serving on the board through October 25th. That is the opening that they have. Nominations are open now, and they close this Friday, June 23rd, 5 p.m., so make sure you get it down there if you want to do that. The phone number is there on your screen. Let's take a look at the weather. We did have a great day on Saturday. As promised, as we talked about, we did have a great day on Saturday. And the rest of the week, we're going to have a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of everything. We're going to mix it back in there, all right? So Monday, today, partly cloudy, but the sun's going to come through. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, mostly sunny. That's going to be great. Then we're going back to the partly cloudy. So we have this June gloom fighting us back and forth, back and forth. Once we get to July, I think we'll be a little more consistent. Our sunrise and our sunset. Sunrise, if you were up today at 5:41, you saw that, maybe through the clouds, maybe not. And our sunset, 8:04. That's a great picture of Laguna Beach down there. All right, coming up, Dr. T is going to be on the show. Stay with us.
Government to take control of your assets and your legacy, or do you want to take control? Ellis Carlson Law is well positioned because we have a team of estate planning attorneys. You call us, we sit down with you, and we will define what is the customized estate plan that properly protects your legacy.
I'd like to personally thank Ellis Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Hi, I'm Dan McEachran. 35 years ago, I was lucky enough to get my start in Laguna Woods. First, building patio rooms, then kitchens. Our cabinets, all built locally in Irvine. It all began with patio rooms, like this Majorca model, which we made into a complete room. I'll pull permits. We'll take care of everything. Give me a call. We'll do a nice job for you.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
At Harvard Eye Associates, we are committed to your vision care and quality of life.
It's a commitment we don't take lightly.
Our trusted team of doctors provides specialized eye care using state-of-the-art technology.
We deliver what matters to you
and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Our next guest just mentioned he needed a haircut in that commercial you saw for Harvard Eye Associates. We're welcoming Dr. T to the program. Dr. T, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me again.
Tell us a little bit about Harvard Eye Associates. You guys have been around for 45 years, kind of general and specialty services for the eye.
Yeah, we're a large multi-subspecialty eye care group with ophthalmologists, optometrists, really able to provide a wide range of eye care for you. So we like to be sort of a one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk a little bit about glaucoma, but with cataracts, what is some of the symptoms of glaucoma in the first place if somebody thinks, hey, I might be having some vision issues?
Yeah, so glaucoma is what we call the silent thief of vision. You actually don't notice it, and that's the issue. Eye pressures go up, it causes damage to the back part of your eye until there's enough damage where you're noticing you're not seeing well.
Okay.
Unfortunately, by that point when you come in to come see us, we're like, oh, there's already damage, can't undo it. The goal is to minimize it. That's why it's super important to get routine eye care done.
And what would that look like? Am I going to something it's going to get hazy for me, or I'm just having trouble focusing if the glaucoma symptoms?
Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Most people would say, hey, I'm just not seeing quite as well. And we're trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Okay. So cataract surgery for cataracts, and how does it apply to glaucoma?
That's a great question, and that's so confusing to patients when I
Right.
bring it up with them, because we're focusing in on their glaucoma care. They're like, why are we talking about cataracts? I thought they're a separate issue. And they are separate issues, but they're connected together. The reason why that is the natural lens of your eye, which is almost like a camera, gives your eye strength. As we get older or as we mature, it becomes cloudier. The problem is the lens of your eye, much like everything in this room, there's only so much space in it. It takes up more and more space as it's getting bigger and bigger. It does one fundamental thing. It pushes the drainage system of your eye closed. Well, the problem with that is when the drainage system closes, that fluid that you're naturally creating inside of your eye accumulates. That causes your pressure to go up.
Okay.
And that stresses other sections of your eye, including the optic nerve, and damages it over time. And that's what glaucoma is, and that's how they're related together.
Okay. And so what does the procedure do exactly in terms of relieving that pressure?
So what happens here in cataract surgery, you take that big bulky lens out that's gotten big, you replace it with a small wafer of a new lens that actually opens up space in your eye. That drainage system that was getting smaller and smaller, all of a sudden has more space to open up.
Okay.
That's when the pressure goes down, and that's one way of helping glaucoma. Because the way we take care of glaucoma is simply to bring the eye pressure down. There's many options. There's eye drops, lasers, surgery, or injections. The first surgical intervention is actually just cataract surgery.
Okay. And are there pills, are there supplements you take after that? Maybe like in terms of, is it a blood pressure thing? Then if I have high blood pressure, I'm a candidate for glaucoma?
Great question. Blood pressure, eye pressure, two separate compartments.
Okay.
They're generally not related. Actually, for some people, low blood pressure is more associated with glaucoma than high blood pressure. There are some pills you can take for glaucoma, but we generally don't like those pills because they can cause other effects in the body. So the general treatment algorithm we use is eye drops, lasers, surgeries, and injections.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the surgery, you get the new lens in there. Is that kind of the cure in terms of we're not going to have that pressure issue anymore, or will that eventually kind of the pressure build up again, or how does that, is it a permanent solution?
I think that's a great question. As much as I would love to say it's a cure, there's never a way of curing glaucoma.
Okay.
The question is just treating it and keeping the eye pressure down.
Okay.
For most patients, it does help out. One of the cool things happening here is there's a shift in the way we think about glaucoma care to more of an interventional mindset. So when we're doing cataract surgery, not only does that help bring the pressure down, but there's these newer technologies that have come out that we can do at the same time as we're doing cataract surgery, usually adding 1 or 2 additional steps to the procedure to further help the drainage system. So a lot like we were talking about that drainage system naturally opening up, well, if it opens up and it's still a little bit clogged, I'm gonna go there and just do a little roto-rooter in there too, since I'm already working in the eye.
Okay. I had a friend, I'm not going to reveal his name, but he had cataract surgery, and he told me that he was offered different options of lenses according to what he could pay for, was insurance coverage, and then the kind of the optimal one that wasn't covered. Is that something you also do? That lens you put in there, are there different options for? And how is someone going to see? Is it going to be a lot different from when the regular lens that was in there?
Absolutely. There's many different options, so there's no cookie cutter way of doing cataract surgery. So I like to say, don't be overwhelmed with the options. Let your eye care provider guide you in them. It's sort of like trying to pick toppings of a pizza, but you've never had pizza before. Now, when it comes to glaucoma, some of the lens options are going to be better than others because you want to have an otherwise healthy seeing eye for some of the things that we can implant. For glaucoma, we may recommend other options. The goal is simply just trying to maximize your vision. That's why we think it's super important to get to know each other. So I realize what's an important activity for you so I can recommend the right lens to get you to where you need to be.
Okay. So take us kind of through the procedure step by step. I come in, I'm a candidate. Where do we go from here?
Yeah. For cataract surgery, if we agree that that's what the primary issue is, it's super important to figure out that there's nothing else in the eye that's causing the visual issue. Because if we're going to take the time and risks and benefits of doing surgery, we want to make sure you do really well with it. So we'll do a thorough exam, get some testing done, and if that's what it is, we then typically get you connected to our surgical counselor. We get some special measurements done of your eyes. then we get your surgery scheduled. And in surgery, we go in there, as we mentioned, take that cloudy lens out, put a new lens in. And the way I think about that cloudy lens is think of it like an M&M in your eye. I like food analogies, by the way. The M&M, it's got this outer shell. That's what the cataract is. The milky stuff we take out. We take that thin wafer of a new lens. It goes back into the shell of the M&M. That's sort of what you see there on the diagram in the back. Yeah. The key is getting the measurements done because the power of the lens we put in varies person to person. It's kind of like picking shoe sizes. You may agree, oh, I want that hiking boot. Well, the next question is, what size do we need it in?
Okay.
And that's what the specific measurements are for.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the things people can do now to make to help in the early stages? Should it be regular eye checks? Are you gonna find that? Hey, you might be a candidate for glaucoma down the line. Are you going to notice that? Do you take eye pressure tests?
Absolutely. So comprehensive eye exams, that's going to be the most important thing. And again, we consider glaucoma the silent thief, as we talked about earlier. You simply don't know that your pressure's creeping up until it causes damage. A lot of the time patients come in saying, gosh, you're telling me the pressure's high, but I don't feel it. And that's where the problem is. There are rare types of glaucoma where the pressure goes up very high. You're going to feel that.
Okay.
But in majority of cases, you don't. And actually, the worst thing that I can ever hear is when a patient comes in and saying, I already can't see well. That means we're already moderate or even severe glaucoma. Gosh, we want to catch this early on so you never notice it.
So like your food analogy, regular meals are going to keep you from being hungry. Regular checkups are going to maybe catch something early on, and it won't be as severe as it could have been?
Absolutely. It's all about maintaining a high quality of life, functional vision at the end of your life. Earlier detection, earlier treatment, not only is it easier, but you end up doing much better at the end.
Okay. What's the recovery time? I've had the surgery. I'm okay. Am I wearing special glasses for a long time? Am I avoiding high impact activities for a while?
I love those questions because what we want to do is get patients back to the way they're living their normal activities. We generally say about a week to recover. That doesn't mean you're not up and about. It just means your eye's healing from surgery, so maybe a little bit blurry. Probably the biggest thing is no heavy lifting or straining. That kind of maneuvers we don't really like, but otherwise it's a relatively quick recovery.
So heavy lifting, straining, because of the pressure that it puts on I'm lifting something, and that actually can affect the eye?
It can. Just imagine having knee surgery. You have a wound on the knee. They would say, well, don't exercise. We don't want the wound to open. In cataract surgery, for a majority of patients, we actually don't even use stitches to close the small incisions we make. So if you do that straining maneuver, you have a tendency of trying to open those incisions, and we don't like that.
Okay, so I never think of in terms of my eyes being kind of strained if I'm doing exertion kind of things, but that definitely has an effect, you're saying.
And that's one of the beauties with the newer technology with cataract surgery. Our incisions are so small, usually about 2 millimeters in length. They don't require stitches, because the last thing you want to do is come in after surgery and I have to remove stitches from your eye. Well, we try to do it without it.
Okay. So what kind of insurance is this? Is insurance cover most of this?
Majority of the time for cataract surgery, yes it is, because we want to make sure that it's affecting your vision, so there's several tests we do, but we also want to check your pressure. So a majority of the time when we talk about cataract surgeries, it's functionally affecting your vision, but when it comes to glaucoma patients, sometimes the first sign we see is your eye pressure going up. So patients may come and say, I'm not noticing a big difference with my vision. Why are we dealing with cataracts? It's because it's actually causing a secondary effect. Your eye pressure is going up. Back to that analogy, if there's only so much space here in the room in your eye working, it's taking up more space, it's causing other problems, and we want to catch it on.
Post, like you said, there's no cure, but what's the maintenance? What you said what kind of a follow-up in terms of, okay, here's how I keep my eyes, my glaucoma in check?
Yeah, so routine maintenance care is the way to go, and the answer to that is it'll depend on how bad your glaucoma is. If your glaucoma is caught super early, usually about 2 times a year, seeing you, just checking in, making sure the pressure hasn't elevated, that works for you. But the more advanced disease you have, the more you need to be seen, just like anything.
Right, just the regular follow-up care is a good idea. Well, you can get that at Harvard Eye Associates, right? Okay.
Right, we can. Thank you so much.
Dr. T, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
When we come back, we're going to be talking to the old pros. Stay with us.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
and a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you
And your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
The Old Pros is a theater and educational group that works to bring quality, emphasis on quality, musicals and theater productions to the folks here in Laguna Woods Village. And I want to welcome Old Pros themselves, Carol, Glenn, and David Deering. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, Michael. Thank you for having us, of course.
So expand a little bit about what Old Pros is all about.
Old Pros is a theater group that was formed in 2004 by a group of people who wanted to bring quality theater to Laguna Woods Village, and we've done many, many, many shows. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Dracula, and just excited to be in Laguna Woods and have an opportunity to bring good theater.
Now, Carol, when we say the quality, I mean, I work over at Santa Ana College also, and they have a theater program where they teach technique, they teach voice diction. Is that what we're talking about in terms of quality, or just trying to make sure you kind of really elevate the level of performance?
We have done classes in the past. Currently, the pandemic threw a lot of our programs off. At this point, we're mainly doing productions locally at Clubhouse 7, and we do a monthly production there, which we go into rehearsal about 2 months before. It will be scenes like the most recent one was a scene, the poker scene from The Odd Couple. Prior to that, we did a segment where it was Lewis, Carol, and Alice in Wonderland. And it was an introduction to people about the character Lewis Carroll, the real person, mixed in with the fantasy of some of his productions. So we work with the people who come in, and I need a few more directors. I'm the current president of the Old Pros, so some of that stuff falls on me, but thank God David was almost one of the very original founders.
Yes, I came in 2006.
Now, can anybody kind of come in, join? Do you have to have a theater background to do this?
Absolutely not. In fact, we encourage people who do not have theater backgrounds to join us. And we encourage people who may not be interested in acting per se, get involved in directing or maybe stage designs, lots and lots of opportunities behind the scenes.
Costume, makeup.
So if somebody has that experience, the audio, production, lighting, things like that.
Right. We welcome absolutely anyone.
And I will say, as far as the acting goes, that people who may not have had the experience find out they may have a talent for it that they didn't realize they had. And that's the exciting part, is to come find someone and all of a sudden they open up and it's something they didn't know they could do, but they can.
Well, David, that sounds like maybe you, right? I mean, here you are involved, and you didn't do this before. You did a little high school, I understand?
I was involved in theater in my high school.
Okay.
And I did some community theater before I moved to Laguna Woods. And I came and I auditioned from New York, and the director said, "Can you give me a good New York accent, like maybe you're a criminal?" I said, "Yeah, I can give you my best New York accent." And they said, "You're hard."
Yeah, so it's a rigorous process, obviously. You guys got some great stuff coming up. 4 Kings and a Queen. You've performed this before, and you're going to be doing it a couple more times for us. Tell us a little bit about what that play, that presentation is all about.
Well, we did it at the Renaissance Fair, and we love doing Shakespeare. David brought Shakespeare really into our community several years back, doing A Midsummer's Night Dream. And one of the segments that we have in 4 Kings and a Queen, which will be running at the Lutheran Church and then at our monthly event on June 21st at Clubhouse 7, the scene with Titania and Bottom. It's a delightful, funny scene, and there is one of those wonderful examples where I called Roxanne Kind, who runs the Emeritus show and the classes, and said, "I need a bottom. the person I was hoping to do wasn't available. So she sent me over this young man, well, he's, in our community, he's young. And it turns out he has talent and he can sing and he's a comic. And it was just a delightful, happy surprise.
That's fun little discoveries. Now, when you say Shakespeare, some people might go, okay, not for me. I mean, they read it in high school, and that was the last time they ever wanted to do it, and they go and see the more popular shows on Broadway, maybe, but not the Shakespeare stuff. So, David, you're a history teacher, you're a teacher. How do you make Shakespeare accessible and fun?
Shakespeare appears in my life every day. Whether it's a question on Jeopardy, something on MASH, there's some Shakespeare every day because he wrote for the ages, okay? And admittedly, the language is difficult to understand sometimes. I'm doing the opening scene from Richard III. Took me 2 months to memorize it. But it's just wonderful about how that character comes out in what Shakespeare has written. And he wrote histories and tragedies and comedies, 36 plays, 154 sonnets, and he's in our lives.
Right. And a lot of people don't realize that, I think, right? And a lot of people don't realize the influence and the carry forward that it's happened when you see, a Romeo and Juliet type movie today where they have the parents and you go, oh, that's based on Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
Or, the last line of the Maltese Falcon,
Right.
is famously, Prospero says that line.
Prospero says, yeah.
And so, you won't realize how it's still so much part of our world today.
Right. And as I said, admittedly, he's a little difficult to understand, but he can be understood. Okay?
That's very important because sometimes the language has changed, but as an actor, if you're conveying the thought behind those words, the audience gets it and it is clear enough. There may be an obscure reference, a noun of something that you're not sure of, but you get the thought.
Right. Well, and the funny thing is I told my kids, High School Musical that you guys loved is Romeo and Juliet.
That's
you guys
right.
get that, right? You have the two feuding the jocks and the nerd,
exactly.
The whole thing, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm here to tell you."
Yeah.
But if you know the path, you understand. Then you can find it much more easily if you kind of have an understanding, right?
If you have a background for it, sure.
Right. So, what would you say some of the more interesting facts about Richard III? I know you came here for some facts. Let's hear some.
Richard III was a real character, okay? And if I'm portraying a character, I like to find out as much as I can about whom I'm playing. Richard III was very much maligned by Shakespeare, and history has proven that he was not the usurper, okay, and the murderer that Shakespeare made him out to be. In fact, in my research, I found that his remains were found in 2012 in Leicester, buried underneath a car park.
Oh, really?
In a parking
that seems like a misplaced thing. Somebody moved a headstone.
And with DNA now, it was clearly Richard III. Okay, wow. And he was maybe a hunchback, maybe not, but he definitely had severe scoliosis, which the pictures from the exhumation clearly proved.
Okay, before we go, we're going to wrap it up here, but one more time, where are we going to be able to see 4 kings and a queen?
A couple different places. I'm not sure what the admission policy is for the Lutheran Church.
Well, that is pretty much for the lunch group there at the church, but it will be. We've been doing several productions for them for this last year, and it's a wonderful place because rather than doing it once and the show is over, this way we have a chance to give the actors several times to perform.
That's wonderful.
But the important thing is for the old pros and for everybody in Laguna Woods to hit Clubhouse 7, June 21st. Doors open at 6. Show goes up at 6:30, and it is a treat. You get songs and sonnets.
It's going to be a fun show. We've got it up there for you guys.
Thank you.
Old pros, Carol and David, thank you very much for joining us today.
Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay with us.
Life goes by quickly. Enjoy it while you can. At Southern California Family Dentistry, we help you live your best life. Dr. Jahangiri has been serving the community for over 15 years. His #1 priority is your comfort and care. We offer complimentary dental implant consultation. Our implants start at only $9.99. Check out our new patient special. We offer exams and x-rays for $49. We also perform implant-supported dentures and sleep dentistry, all under one roof. Transform your smile. Don't wait. Give us a call today.
Welcome back to This Day. Let's talk about the Monday movie. It's a great one. I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen it a couple times. It is House of Gucci back in 2021. Lady Gaga, Al Pacino, Jared Leto, everybody's in this movie. It is a blockbuster. It's a great one. Sponsored by Pacific Financial Planners. It's going to be on at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And let's take a check on our weather one more time before we leave you this morning. It's a cloudy day. It's no shocker, right? It's June gloom, and it's out there. Rest of the week is going to be a little bit of hit and miss in terms of sunshine. We're going to get some sun later today, but partly cloudy is where we're starting out today. 72 and 57, mostly sunny on Tuesday, mostly sunny on Wednesday as well. Those are going to be our best days of having just some great sunshine. Get out there, enjoy the day. Partly cloudy back again. Temperatures a little lower on Thursday, and we go into the weekend. It's going to be down in the 60s again. And we're going to break out of this pattern sometime in July, but that's why they call it June gloom, folks. Hate to break it to you, but that's it. I hope you're having a great Juneteenth. I hope you enjoy the holiday. And remember, the banks are closed. No postal delivery today. Otherwise, other things are open. Comedy Club's coming up tomorrow. We'll see you later on This Day.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests, and it found out that yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection, and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mess. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
It was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.